The moment I held the faded photograph of my late father smiling beside a woman who wasn't my mother, my entire world shattered into pieces I couldn't rebuild. That shocking discovery led me down a dark path of isolation and mistrust, forcing me to lock my heart away from everyone around me for years. It made me believe that people only enter your life to deceive you, and that letting anyone close was an invitation to pain. If you believe in kindness, forgiveness, hope, and second chances after enduring deep heartbreak, please take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel to support our growing community. The sweltering heatwave had turned the entire town into a suffocating furnace, with the bright summer sun beating down relentlessly on the concrete and making the air outside feel like a wall of steam. I had spent the better part of that blindingly hot morning sitting inside my air-conditioned apartment, staring at the walls and keeping to myself as I usually did. My roommate, Clara, was someone I had barely spoken to in the 3 months since she moved in. She was a quiet, hard-working nurse who worked endless shifts at the regional clinic, while I worked from home, consumed by my own solitude and bitter memories. We shared a kitchen and a hallway, but beyond polite nods, we were essentially two strangers living parallel lives. I preferred it that way, convincing myself that keeping my distance was the safest way to avoid being hurt or betrayed ever again. As the noon sun reached its peak, casting harsh, brilliant beams through the living room blinds, the hum of my bedroom unit was the only comforting sound in the quiet space. Suddenly, a soft, hesitant knock echoed from my doorway, breaking the stillness of the afternoon. I opened the door to find Clara standing there in a simple light blue robe, looking exhausted and visibly distressed under the glare of the bright afternoon light coming through the hallway window. She explained with a trembling voice that her air conditioning unit had completely broken down an hour ago, turning her room into an unbearable, stifling trap. Sweat glinted on her forehead, and her usual calm demeanor was completely broken by sheer physical exhaustion and anxiety. She looked at me with deep vulnerability, asking if she could stay in my air-conditioned room for a while just to escape the overwhelming heat. My initial instinct was to refuse, driven by the protective wall I had built around my privacy for so many years. I felt a surge of reluctance at the thought of letting someone into my personal sanctuary, especially during the middle of the day when I preferred total solitude. But looking closely at her tired eyes and seeing how genuine her struggle was, a tiny spark of empathy pushed past my defenses. I stepped aside, inviting her in and pointing toward the armchair near the window. Clara sat down, offering a small, grateful smile that seemed to break through the tension hanging between us. The cool air immediately began to soothe her, and for the first few minutes, we sat in a comfortable silence under the warm daylight streaming into the room. As the afternoon wore on and the sun continued to shine brightly outside, the quiet space between us began to fill with unexpected conversation. What started as small talk about the relentless heat wave quickly shifted into deeper, more personal stories. Clara began to open up about her life, sharing the heavy emotional burden she carried as a nurse who witnessed life and death every single day. She spoke of the overwhelming loneliness that often followed her long shifts, and how hard it was to return to a home where she felt completely disconnected from everyone. Listening to her soft, earnest words, I felt the icy armor around my heart start to melt away. I realized that behind her quiet exterior was a soul carrying its own silent pain, searching for warmth and human connection just like I was. Moved by her honesty, I found myself opening up in a way I hadn't in years. I spoke about the secret photograph I had found, the painful breakdown of my family's trust, and how that trauma had led me to shut out the entire world. I confessed how hard I had tried to stay detached from her, believing that keeping people at arm's length was the only way to shield myself from future disappointment. Clara listened without an ounce of judgment, her calm eyes showing deep understanding and compassion. She gently pointed out that while guarding my heart protected me from pain, it also locked out the possibility of joy, friendship, and genuine healing. Hearing those words in the middle of a sunlit afternoon felt like a sudden light piercing through years of self-imposed darkness. In that transformative moment, something shifted fundamental within me. I realized that my fear of betrayal had stripped my life of color and meaning, making me a prisoner of my own past. By taking a leap of faith and opening my door to someone in need, I had opened the door to my own emotional recovery. We spent the rest of the day talking, sharing stories, and laughing, a sound that had not echoed within those walls for a very long time. The blinding summer heat outside no longer felt oppressive. Instead, the bright daylight filling the room felt symbolic of a brand new beginning. By late afternoon, as the golden sunlight softened and filled the apartment with a warm, peaceful glow, the maintenance team finally arrived and repaired Clara's air conditioner. Although her room was cool again, the distance between us had permanently disappeared. We were no longer two guarded strangers sharing an address. We had built a genuine bond rooted in vulnerability, empathy, and mutual trust. I realized that letting Clara into my room was the first step toward letting life back into my heart, proving to me that second chances and beautiful connections are always possible when we dare to be kind. Life often brings us to unexpected crossroads where a single moment of kindness can change the entire direction of our journey and heal wounds we thought would last forever. What is a time in your life when showing grace or kindness to a stranger ended up changing your perspective on life? Please take a moment to leave a meaningful comment below sharing your thoughts and experiences, as your words might be the exact source of comfort someone else needs to read today. If this story touched your heart and reminded you of the beauty of human connection, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey with our family.